In the heart of an ancient forest, untouched by time and shrouded in perpetual twilight, stood a dilapidated cabin. This cabin had once belonged to a reclusive woodsman who was rumored to have vanished without a trace many years ago. No one dared venture near, for the forest itself seemed to whisper warnings to those who approached. One stormy night, a lone traveler named Marcus found himself lost and desperate. The rain poured down in torrents, and the wind howled like a pack of wolves. As he stumbled through the undergrowth, he caught sight of the cabin, its windows dark and unwelcoming. With no other choice, he approached, hoping to find shelter. The interior was as decayed as the exterior, filled with the scent of mold and rot. Marcus shivered, not just from the cold, but from an overwhelming sense of dread that seemed to seep from the very walls. He found a dusty lantern and managed to light it, casting flickering shadows that danced across the room. As Marcus explored, he discovered strange carvings on the walls, symbols he did not recognize. They seemed to pulsate with a life of their own, drawing his gaze and making his head throb. He tried to ignore them, but they were everywhere, etched into every surface. The whispers began softly, almost imperceptible, but they grew louder with each passing moment. Words in a language long forgotten filled the air, twisting and turning into a cacophony of terror. Marcus covered his ears, but the voices were inside his mind, clawing at his sanity. In his panic, he stumbled upon an old journal, its pages yellowed and brittle. The entries were written in a frantic scrawl, detailing the woodsman's descent into madness. The final entry spoke of a dark presence, an entity that demanded a sacrifice to quench its insatiable hunger. Marcus's heart pounded as the cabin fell eerily silent. The whispers ceased, replaced by an oppressive stillness. He felt a cold breath on the back of his neck, and when he turned, he saw nothing but darkness. Yet he knew he was not alone. The lantern flickered and died, plunging him into complete darkness. He fumbled for a match, but his hands were shaking too much to light it. Then, out of the blackness, a pair of glowing eyes appeared, staring at him with malevolent intent. Frozen in terror, Marcus could only watch as the entity emerged from the shadows. It was a twisted, grotesque figure, its body contorted and its eyes burning with an otherworldly fire. The creature reached out, its clawed hand brushing against his skin, leaving a trail of icy pain. With a scream, Marcus turned and fled, crashing through the door and into the storm. He ran blindly, branches tearing at his clothes and skin. The whispers followed, growing louder and more insistent, urging him to return to the cabin. He could feel the entity's presence behind him, closing in with every step. Just as he thought he could run no more, he stumbled and fell, his head striking a rock. As his vision blurred and darkness consumed him, the last thing he heard was the entity's chilling laughter. Days later, a search party found Marcus's body at the edge of the forest. His face was frozen in a mask of terror, his eyes wide and unseeing. The cabin was never found, and the forest remained as foreboding as ever, its secrets buried deep within its ancient heart. Beware the forest, for some places are better left untouched, and some evils are never meant to be disturbed.